right, Brandon, what brings you in today?
Yeah, just wanted to come in and talk about my employment status and
Okay.
where I just left a job recently and looking into finding another one right now. And
Okay. Tell me a little bit about yourself. What do you like? What's your degree in? What was your previous job?
yeah, I've got my undergrad and my master's degree in sport management,
Okay.
and then the last almost 3 years been working at UT in the athletic offices with ticket sales.
Okay. How? So tell me about why you left that job.
I just got a little too stressful over time
Okay.
with the ticket sales and just pressure being put on, and didn't feel a lot of it was warranted.
Okay.
Just kind of got burnt out and decided to look at doing something else.
Okay. You said burnt out. What are some things that you maybe you didn't do this in your old job, but maybe things maybe you could do in your future job? Some things to help with that burnout, or how do you think you got burnt out
Yeah, I think
specifically?
what I'm looking for is a little bit better of an environment
Okay.
with the management, a little bit less stress, and just I mean, I know I'm going to be in an office setting again, but just really just a little bit more laid back of an environment would help.
Okay. What kind of style would you say that your manager had and why you didn't really care for it?
Very micromanaging.
Okay.
So every little thing was, just hard to do when someone's on you for every little thing.
Just
so,
having someone looking over your shoulder constantly.
A little less micromanaging.
Okay. So what kind, like, let's say 5 years from now, what is like your dream job? What would that be?
So I really want to go back and do my, try to get my PhD
Okay.
in sport management and ultimately look to teach at the college level. So try to become a professor at some point is really what my main focus is. But right now I'm needing to work a little bit more in between before I can actually get to that point.
Okay. And I think I saw in the intake paperwork that you're like recently engaged. So does that kind of affects like you going to school right now and your fiance's job and stuff like that, right?
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
She's working on starting her career.
Okay.
And needing to get licensed in her certain area, which is going to take a couple of years. So I'm just putting mine on hold since she's almost a little bit further ahead, where she can go and get hers done, and then ultimately together look at pursuing my dream.
Okay. Okay. What? All right. I know this question is always annoying, and I always ask you in interviews and stuff like that. But tell me about some of your strengths and some of your weaknesses in your jobs that you've had.
Yeah, I mean, my strengths is kind of ties into both. I always get everything done, but sometimes not in the most organized way. So managers may look at it as me on the verge of not doing what I need to, but ultimately I get it done correctly. It's just not as organized as probably most others do. Always at work. I don't use a lot of calling in sick or vacation days. So I'm always on time for the most part.
Okay.
So yeah, pretty punctual with work. Very professional at work, doing what's expected of me in the right way for the most part. Weaknesses, I guess the unorganized part would be a big one.
Okay.
I mean, I'm pretty perfect for the most part.
Yeah, right.
No, I mean, I would say really unorganized is probably the biggest one, but organized chaos is what I like to call it.
Organized chaos. All right.
Yeah.
What are some ways you think you could help yourself with the organization?
Well, lucky for me, my fiance is pretty organized.
That is lucky for you.
So she can kind of help me as far as getting on a little straighter path on doing it, and really just listening to what my supervisors, the tips they give me or how they want it done.
Okay.
So really just listening more would probably be good.
Okay.
Doing it their way.
I gotcha. So how long have you not been at UT at this point?
So it's going about 3 months.
Okay.
3 months as far as a little nice hiatus.
Okay.
But still actively looking for that next step.
what kind of jobs are you looking for right now?
I mean, my background's mostly in sales.
Okay.
So I'm kind of sticking with that sales part just because I think it's a little bit more easier for me to find a job that way, just because I have the experience in it and something that I know what to do at this point. So that's kind of where I'm looking at.
Okay. I noticed you didn't really mention anything about like the sports direction. Does that bother you that it's not anything sports related, or are you okay with?
I'm okay with it to diversify for now.
Okay.
I mean, I've got my goal is, working at, doing the sports PhD when I go back and teaching that. But I do have a nice background already built up. This could just be like a safety net for me, getting into something I, might not know anything about.
Okay.
And if the teaching doesn't work out, then I've just kind of broadened my workbook.
Well, what kind of resources are you using right now to find a job? You doing internet or like what kind of things?
Yeah, mostly internet, LinkedIn, using Google. I know there's a lot of web pages out there with job postings.
Okay.
I listen to, if anybody that I know hears of something, then, it's always something to get to run with. But feels a little bit more like the online aspect is a little bit easier for finding other jobs.
Okay. Well, I'm just here to help, and I appreciate you coming in. I have this really cool assessment that I want to show you. So basically, this is a self-directed search, and it asks you questions, and then you answer them honestly. You go with your gut. So don't think about these questions. Don't overthink them. You're going to answer these questions, and then at the very end, it helps you. It talks about your passions and your interests. And basically, at the very end, you see this really long list of all these jobs. So basically, it helps you find what your personality type is and a sense of your job. And then it gives you all of these options. And so it's kind of cool. I feel like it's pretty helpful for people who are kind of like looking for a job, maybe to see, hey, I never thought I could do this. Maybe I should look into that. And you can go forward and maybe look at a job description. You never know if you could be interested in it. So it takes about 20 minutes. So giving you some homework. You just take this home and do this for me, and then when you come back, we will go over it, and I'll get your opinion on what you think about this assessment.
That sounds good.
Does that sound good?
Yeah.
All right, Brandon, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.